Hello, everybody. It's your girl Ashley, the amateur expert, coming to you live for a first time in a little bit. But welcome. If this is your first time joining us, so happy that you are with us. We are going to be discussing career path, ideas of success, and inspiration, tips, and motivators that our guest today has used along her journey. I am incredibly excited for her to be joining us. She is launching a new project, so it's always a good time to reconnect. I myself am working on rebranding and sort of expanding my other baby, Affirmed Armor, and so we've got a lot of exciting things to discuss today. Do please tap in, share with a friend, let them know that we are live and that we are going to be inspiring one another with our stories and our journey. Tori is here with us, so we are going to add her because I know how to do that. Who's watching? How do you invite? Go live with Buddy. Happy Talk Tuesday. Happy Talk Tuesday. Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you
I
doing?
am well. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy
Thank-
Talk Tuesday.
Yes. Happy Tuesday.
Awesome. Okay, so Tori, let's jump in. Tell us who you are and what you are doing currently for work.
All right. Hey, everyone. Happy Tuesday evening. I'm Tori Nichel, and I have some exciting news. I am on the cusp of launching a passion project and a baby of mine called Maison Black. Maison Black is launching on October 20th in Detroit, my hometown. So excited. Detroit has done nothing but show out and show up for me and the crew of designers. So shout out to everybody from Detroit. I see some of my people in there. But Maison Black is an online curated platform exclusively for Black designers. I am so honored and humbled that I've been called to do this. I truly feel like I am walking in my purpose, and it gives me chills. Ash and I were just talking about this before we went live. Because when you put something out in the universe and you envision it, and then you're actually walking, and when you know you've been called to serve or be of service and are being utilized as a vessel, this has become bigger than me in a sense. And sometimes I feel that weight. At the same time, it's an honor, and I just want to make sure I do my Black design community right and honor all of our just trials and tribulations and celebrate us. And, we're here to create access, opportunity, to champion design excellence, to share the stories too, and really own our own stories. So for so long, it's in every industry, not just the fashion industry, but others have taken our stories and
For
wanted to tell
sure.
our stories and journeys through their lens, but not through the lens of Black women and men and others. And it's time for us to own our power, walk in our power,
That's
share
right.
our truths, and build our legacies in our authentic way. And so that's what Maison Black is going to do. In addition to showcasing really fly designers and curating, so you guys can have some retail therapy online 24/7. We're
Love
going to
it.
share amazing Black stories with you.
That's so beautiful. Okay, so tell us where it started. Let's dial this back some because this sounds like oof, like this has come from having to have endured so much. So I want to know first, um, when you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up, and what was the motivating factor behind that?
So I always wanted to be a fashion designer, probably crazy enough. And I'm going to tell, when I finish the story, I'm going to tell some folks that you don't always like know what you, and it's okay. But I was super blessed. I always knew from what the time I can remember, probably around 7 years old, that I wanted to be a fashion designer. And one of the things that I remember was a jump off point for me was my sister got this Barbie doll for Christmas. It was amazing. She was a black Barbie doll. She was a dark skinned Barbie doll. She looked like me. She had slits on the side, and it came with some cheap fabric, some sequins, a glue stick, some scissors, and you could actually cut and drape and like make your
Wow. Okay.
clothes. So, my best friends, Shannon and Chrissy, know, like we were the Barbie tribe. But the fact that I had this thing, and it was called Fashion by Me. I mean, this thing was incredible. If I could find that thing today, but that was like really my jump off point. And from there, it all started me stealing my mom's fashion magazines. I probably make some people laugh who know me or grew up with me, but I announced to the family that my design name, I was changing my name to Toto Gibatini, because as I started reading these magazines, everyone had these fancy names. And like I was little, no one didn't tell me that these were Italian designers, and that's, that whole,
For
so
sure. That is great. I love
my name
that.
is so basic. So Tori Nichel is my full first name, but my last name is Gibbs. So when I was like, oh, I need like a fancier name. It's got to have this ring to it. And Toto is my nickname growing up. Half of Detroit still calls me Toto, but that's a whole nother story, but it's fine.
I love that story. And oddly enough, or interestingly enough, I don't think I ever really knew what I wanted to be when I was growing up. I sort of wanted to be everything and still sort of do want to be everything. But my middle name is Nichelle, spelled
Yeah,
differently.
yes, I didn't know that.
Yes. And
Yeah,
so
all this time.
when we connected, I was just like, oh my goodness, right? Like insane on how God aligned our paths in that, right? So and at one point I hated my name Ashley. Everyone's name was Ashley. My mom told it with two E's, and I just wanted to be different, and so I was gunning for changing my name to Nichelle, but it never happened, and I fell in love
Well,
with Ashley, so to speak.
I love Ashley, and I love that your middle name is Nichelle. I love that name. I
It's so
absolutely love,
beautiful.
yeah, that name.
It's
So
so
that's
beautiful.
amazing.
Okay, so you've always wanted to be a designer, which I think is amazing,
Yeah.
especially since it has actualized itself into being your reality. So what did you think success was at that point when you were, what was it, Toto?
When I was Toto Gibatini.
Yes, give it tea. When you were sort of in that stage of your life, like what did you think it was going to look like to be a successful designer?
I needed to get to New York. I just needed to be in New York, and I had to go to a design school, and I had to figure out how to get there. That was like my first stage of success. I had to work hard though. I wasn't like I was the best like artist in art class, or the
Mm,
best, or like I picked up pattern making like that, or draping. Like I
yeah,
like had to work to like perfect and really hone in on my skills. And so that's, that was kind of like the North Star for me. And a girlfriend of mine I grew up with, there was two of us that were always really into fashion in school. And in the newspaper, a lady was featured who was a former model, designer. She retired from the Art Institute of Chicago.
okay.
She came over from Europe, and she started teaching private lessons in her house. And her name is Christiane. So anybody that I grew up with knows that from junior year in high school to junior year in college, every Saturday from like 9 to 1, I did pattern
Wow.
making and draping, and she taught me how to sew. And she really
Wow.
prepared me for New York, and not only just the technical skills to prepare me for design school, but
Hmm.
she taught me how to show up as a designer,
Wow.
and what it was going to mean, and the grit, and what I was going to face,
Hmm.
as a woman in the streets of New York, as a young person in design school, and then what it was going to be like in the design studio. So that, I'm sure my story would be completely different if she didn't come into my life. The amazing thing was she passed away when she was 89 or 90. So I had her for a long time throughout my career. I mean, she just
Yeah.
passed away in 2017.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was amazing.
Well,
Yes.
definitely sorry for your loss, but it's also a blessing to hear that she was able to impart so much wisdom, and give you that preparation
Yeah.
that you needed. Um, okay, so you explained sort of you've always had your North Star. You knew what you needed to do to get there. You found people and and ways to make that happen. So after or alongside with your mentor, what other things did you do along your journey to get you to where you are today? Like sort of can you paint the picture for us of the journey as long or short as you'd like?
That looks fine. No, I'm kidding. I was very determined. One of the words Christiane used to describe me growing up was, she's like, you just persevered. I think resiliency, like you just pushing forward. I think it's a blessing to be able to have a vision and then execute your vision.
For sure.
And just that determination, I could truly see myself being a designer. And at one point, I remember saying, even if I'm not supposed to be a designer, I knew I was supposed to be in fashion, for sure. That was without a shadow of a doubt. But I was really hard on myself. I'm a classic poster child Virgo. So I was like, if I don't get into design school, that's it. It's a wrap. I'll start from scratch. It wasn't meant to be. I'm not trying to be like the average Joe, so I was like, they just don't want me. Luckily, I got into so the dream kept going.
Love
Um,
that.
but and that was crazy because when you go into college and they're like, you get the thick package, you're in, and they prepare you and you get to pick all this stuff. And my mom's like, you got an envelope from them. I was like, oh, I didn't get in. It was a mess. It was a whole bunch of drama. And I opened the envelope and it was like, you're accepted for the fall. Um,
Wow.
so it was really, really being able to really see myself and really vision, and being able to make that vision come true. But, it all started in, Christiane's studio. And I gave up Friday nights in high school for sure, probably in junior and senior year. She grilled me. She did not want to take me. She said I was the youngest. All her students at the time were like in their late 20s, early 30s. I was
Wow.
16. She tried her best not to take me on, and I begged her. And then, as our relationship grew, she called me her, she was like my second mom, and she called me her daughter she never had, and it was great. But then getting to New York, that was a whole nother learning experience. And I would have to say, and I try to tell people in my life, I am so grateful for everyone who has come into my life. And my roommate at FIT, Diana, better known as D, she was amazing. She took me under her wing. She was 2 years older than me. I mean, not only did she's like, oh girl, you got to work on them sketches. Like, here, hold up. Let's do this.
Yes.
But like, she took me on the streets of New York. Like and she's Colombian, so we had this, African Latino vibe going on. She showed me, just everything, the good,
Yeah.
bad, and the ugly. We were in it. And then, we didn't have two pennies to rub together. So once we got close, we were like, okay, this is our art school fund, and this is our McDonald's Chinese food fund. And we'd stretch the $22
For
we had,
sure.
2 weeks. It was crazy. But that was a blessing. And it's just, when I look on my journey, the alignment I have had with so many amazing people has
Yeah.
just been just out of this world. And I look at that relationship that Dee and I had that really started like truly when I started like living that dream.
Yeah.
And having that pretty much like an angel, somebody watching over me when I, first came to New York. Because when I went to school in New York, that was my first time ever being in New York. It wasn't
Oh,
like I went
wow.
on trips or anything in New York. That was,
Okay. And that's so interesting because to hear that, right? Because I grew up in Connecticut and New York was like a backyard to me, right? So my mom would take me to New York almost I don't know, once at least once a month, if not more, and we would just go and it was just our place. And so that's amazing to hear that that was your first experience, and it's definitely a wake up call, right? And it could be a bit of a culture shock.
it was real.
For sure.
Yeah, it really got real when I saw those, we walk, across the class and come back and, there'd be mice walking beside you. And I'm like, the hell?
What is this?
Hell?
I didn't sign up for this now. What are you
Didn't.
talking about?
But, it's all part of the grind in New York.
For sure. Okay, so I'm hearing that. So you knew early on that you wanted to be a fashion designer. You aligned yourself, or yeah, basically aligned yourself with people that were going to help you get there. You did get accepted into. Did you do undergrad in fashion, or like
I
what were
did.
like the scholastic steps that you took?
Great question. So I did skip over something. So I went to Michigan State and I was very strategic. I wanted to go to art school. And if you talk to my dad today, the story would be completely different. He'd be like, no, that wasn't how it went. But my dad was a corporate guy. He's very big in education. He like did it all. I didn't want as much education as him. I just needed to get to New York. I like, you got 4 years out of me for schooling, but I was the first creative person in my family, and he wanted me to fall back. And I was also the youngest, and my brother and my sister changed their majors 50 times. So like, you can't go to art school. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't go to art school? He's like, yeah. He's like, if that doesn't work out, you need a fallback plan. You need to go to university. So I ended up going to Michigan State University because I found that they had an exchange program where I could do the FIT program through Michigan State. But I
Love
still had
that.
to apply and send all my stuff and go through the whole portfolio process. But that was my creative way in of making my dad happy, of getting the university degree and satisfying me getting the art degree. Now I
I
can
love
say,
that.
he's like, well, damn, she did it. She's still doing it.
I love that. Love that. Okay, so that's amazing. I didn't even know that that was out there. But again, because you were so focused and that was, like you said, your North Star getting to New York, you found a way. And I truly believe Jesus is my homeboy. And so I believe that when we are focused and our intentions are on the right thing and on what, our calling is, he makes it work. So I'm so happy to hear that you had that drive and you knew from early on that's what you want to do. That's not my testimony. I was like your brother and sister, and I changed my major 50 million times, but
Yes.
it
But
did.
too. And I stress that too when I, I do a lot of talent development in my other design life. And it's so important to
Mhm.
also let young people know you can change your mind. You got like the sky's the limit. You have so
For
much time
sure.
in front of you. It's okay. And, even when I look at Maison Black, like, to me, I'm like starting over from scratch.
Mhm.
One of the things my dad did always tell us is, bet on yourself,
Yeah,
shoot that shot. Like, what are you waiting for? And, so now it's like, I'm going all in, betting on myself, but you can change, that's part of the journey and part of the exciting part of life is that you don't always have to do the one thing. You can do multiple things, or shift at any time. It's our power and our control to do that.
I love that. That's awesome advice. Okay, so now tell us what what is your idea of success today?
This was a whoa, and you were sending me some of the prep questions. It has totally changed. Little Toto and Toto Gibatini, like I was one track mind. I was like, I'm gonna be the fly designer in New York, doing my thing, strut my stuff down 7th Avenue. And, success today for me is having balance,
Mm,
really having balance in all walks of life. It's not just like one track mind career, and career
yeah,
defines what your success is. And I also truly believe that success is different for everyone.
yeah,
And everyone's definition of success should be different for their own path and journey. And this took me a long time to say that success isn't connected to your career or what your job is. And I think so often we are taught that that's just part of like how we're wired or our culture is. And I think we have to shift that for the younger generation too,
yeah,
because then it sometimes pigeonholes, because not everybody's even made for college. Like I truly believe that,
yeah.
or a higher education. Like certain talents, your innate talents are your innate talents. So success today means balance. and we've talked about this in our master class with V, is and she's spoken a lot about this, and it really resonated with me, is, and I have a lot of girlfriends that have experienced this, and we're in the same generation, B and I, is, you're trained to be this like powerhouse woman, like, we come from, our parents like pays the way, maybe they were first generation, college, or maybe not, but they set the stage for us so we could be if they weren't.
Yep.
And then it's like our moms wanted us to be these strong, really independent women to, have our education, have our jobs, own this, do all this. That's great. But somewhere along the line, the balance scale was like, no, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And then, get that family. So, success to me is having that balance where you can have a fulfilling career, but also have a fulfilling life with your family as well. And that's really important. So I haven't achieved all that yet, but that is my North Star now. Like, may sound black, definitely my baby, but the North Star is having that balance and having both. And, there have been people who, have told me, in some cases men, that you can't have both in that balance, but I truly believe you can.
I agree. I agree completely. And that is where I am, right? Like I think I was so driven, I think family first, and that didn't work out so well. And so then I was like career, and then I was like, wait, how do we can find that happy medium? And
Yeah,
so that is
totally.
that is where we are today, making those steps daily to figure out, okay, how do we balance this? How do we do this? Um, of course, being in quarantine sort of shut things up a little bit for everybody, but it's all right. It's happening. They're out there somewhere. um, okay, so what is something that you have recently learned, or I don't know, maybe you're still in the process of learning it that you wish you have learned sooner?
Oh gosh. I mean, I feel like I am definitely at the point, I feel like I'm going to always be a student of life.
Hmm.
I feel like I am learning every day. And with this new business, there's just so much for me to learn as I venture into, I'm really transitioning my career in fashion and tech, and learning that tech and that digital side is totally
Okay.
different than even my natural innate fashion abilities, what I was trained to do, that whole skill set.
Yep.
So all that is just new. But I would say above and beyond that, I mean, I would say leveraging your network too.
Mm.
I think this is a big one. um it is hard for me to ask for help. Just this just is, and again, maybe
Yeah.
it's that, like, you got to be independent, you got to figure this out for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And leveraging your network, and whatever that network is for you, whether it's your business, professional, personal network. Again, when you start, I have over 20 years, experience now in fashion, and
Yeah.
I should be able to leverage the network, and the network that I've nurtured over the years too.
For
So learning
sure.
to be able to leverage that, and know that, part of the network is there are people that genuinely want to see you win and
Yeah.
genuinely want to support and help you, but they can't help you if you don't tell them what you need. So
That is it.
learning that. And so that's been a big one for me. A really big one as of late, that I've just been realizing and trying to catch myself and saying, like, you actually have a village. You've built a
You
village.
do.
This is,
Yes.
several decades. So leverage the village.
I love that you shared that. And I also love that you said that a network that you nourished. And I think that is the most important part
Yeah.
along the journey, right? And so I think specifically for, I won't say my generation, but like maybe the people just below. But no, I actually think it's a lesson for everybody to remember that just because I know you, Tori, doesn't mean that I can just call you tomorrow and be like, oh, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I need your help. Maybe. But a lot of it is based, maybe I could, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is based on how the foundation of the relationship and how it's built, and then
Yeah.
also how you maintain it over time.
Yeah.
Because I have found, even in
recent years. Once I think people see that you, one, are achieving your goals, or two, in different networks, right? That they think that they can automatically attach themselves to you and or that part of your network. And I think that is so important to share that it's not really how it works, right?
No.
Like it has to be my personal opinion, and tell me what your thoughts, a genuine connection, and something that is fostered over time. And so, and I know Felicia, who is like our best friend in our head, has has, has mentioned this time and time again, that, you know, if it's just a quarterly email, like, hey, how are your family, how are your
Yeah.
kids, just to, and not to be a, you know, a sucker or a, you know, I don't know, I'm gonna say kiss ass, but you know, like whatever. It's not that. It's to just be in touch, so that over time, when you do, as you are building or as things are coming up for you, you can say, hey, Tori, I'm working on this project. Love your insight. Or can you give me your feedback? Or can you help me promote? Or what are your thoughts? Or, you know, as opposed to not hearing from you for 20 years, right? I think
Yes.
people approach you differently, and not to say that they won't help you, right? Those same people may help you, but it's, I think, their willingness to respond may be different, or you know.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
No, it is so true. It is. It's just 1,000% true. And for me, I'm such a people person. And having those genuine connections, and I mean, it has to be. It just has to
Mm-hmm.
be. Like,
For sure.
it's not negotiable. As you said, it's just, it comes out of left field when it is, you haven't heard from somebody in 30 years. You may not even recognize the person. I mean, it's funny, you said 20 years, I said 30 years. So you can, I just dated myself. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No one picked up on it. Just keep going. Keep going.
But it does. Everything, I echo everything that you said. And again, it's in your personal life and in professional too. I think it works both ways. In nurturing that. And I had to learn too in this journey, in this next chapter with Maison Black is, um, you know, because I was like, oh my gosh, I just really, like, people have poured into me and I am so grateful. I'm just like actually humbled, and I just pinch
Mm,
myself. And my girl Tiff told me to stop pinching myself and accept the blessings.
that's
And even
beautiful.
another angel in my life, Lachelle. And because when people are doing good and you're doing good, it's the universe is going to let you give back. And it may not be back to that same person, but you're going to be able to contribute to someone else in the way someone poured into to me. So that's so important, is just to be able to pour into each other. And I have to say, I just love us. I love Black women. I
Yes.
love people. I love Black men. Like, when I tell you, the community and large family tribe just has showed up and has just, when someone tells you this, I just want to see you win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, that is just, I mean, that's probably the best gift someone could ever give me. Um,
Yeah.
and it's truly humbling. And that's why, for me, I'm like, I got to bet on myself. When someone's like, I just want to see you win. Like, what you need, what's today? And, that's how these last 18 months, really 2 years have been. And I'm just so blessed for the folks
Mm-hmm.
in my life. I just can't say that enough.
Yeah, no, that's great. But also, I think that the truth in that is that when you win, where you're all winning, right? Because a part of you, like you said initially, that you finally feel as though you're like stepping into your purpose, right? And you have found a way to match your passion and you being of service to others. And in this way, when you win, you are bringing up so many other people with you. So it's not even about you anymore, which is the beautiful thing, right? And
Uh,
so, as I've shared this with you earlier, this is going to be major and it's going to blow your mind because it's it's not about you.
and you know,
You are just the vessel, and it's going to be so amazing.
you know, and that is the best way when people ask me, like, and people have asked me, Tori, are you going to do a collection? Are you, you know, are you doing like Tori Nichel from Maison Black? And I was like, it's not about me though. Like and people get, you know, they're like, no, you got to do, you know, you got to bring Tori Nichel back. And I'm like, but that's not, maybe it will come down the road, but
For
that's
sure.
not what the calling is now. That's not what I've been called to do now. And that is very clear. And I think when I use the word and people are like, how do you feel? You know, you're launching in 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm excited and terrified because I'm like, I'm just, I'm that vessel. I'm walking in my purpose. I wish I could describe it, but I've never felt this before. I see so many of my folks out there. Hi, everybody. The Detroit tribe is strong. And I got to give a shout out to my girl, Frenchie. Frenchie is my twin business partner. She
Hey,
is the
Frenchie.
Black fashion movement, and her next luxury fashion experience is in Atlanta, the same time as my Detroit event. So it's killing us. But it's the 21st to the 24th. So everybody out in the ATL's got to go out and support the Black
Yes,
fashion
yes.
and know that Maison Black and the Black fashion movement are, you know, we go deep with each other. So shout out.
Love that. Love that. And blessings to you, Frenchie, on your ATL event. We got to get you on the show next. Let's spread the love. Let's get everybody a
Yeah.
chance to hear about your journey as well, because I'm sure it's just as inspirational as Tori's. Um, this is really blessing my soul, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. And I want to know, what are some of the tips and motivators you've used along this journey?
One of the things, I mean, this journey is so different from the Toto Gibatini going into the Tori Nichel journey, because I truly had a one-track mind. Um, you know, my life forever changed June 24th, 2016, when I lost my mom. I lost her in 8.5 weeks. So my key motivator is time. My key motivator is living in the present. My key motivator is to know that this right now that we're doing may never happen again. When I say goodbye to loved ones, it could be the last time I say goodbye, you know, that last time. So I don't play with time anymore. I don't play with not being present for people. I think I always have been truly present, or as present as I could be, but I'm so much more conscious about that now. You know, I will probably, you know, never feel like I'm walking on 100% level ground anymore without my mom. And again, I don't know how to explain that to anybody. I just want to protect everybody in my world and my sphere from ever feeling like that. But so when I am in a room with a friend, a team member, somebody that works with me, a family member, an acquaintance, if I'm going on a date, it is because I truly want to be there and want to spend time with you, because I do not play with my time anymore. I just don't. It's so precious, and it can be snatched away in a second. And I also learned that balance piece, which is making sure you take a step back, or taking, you know, pulling yourself out of the weeds or whatever it is. You know, a lot of people talk about wellness and what everyone's wellness regimen is, and again, it's so different for everybody. For me, about 3 years ago, I committed myself to starting to work out again. I was like, I have been blessed to have had this, you know, knock on wood, fairly healthy, like, frame. I pretty much do nothing to maintain it, but like things were getting a little like out of whack, and I was like, you got one job now, it's just to maintain. Like, you can do that, like you can get move a little bit more. And I also needed some type of therapy or guidance after I lost my mom, and I thought I was fine for a long time. And I actually was not living in New York. I moved away for a job. I moved to Milwaukee, which is that's a whole nother life for another day. Good news is that was only for 4 years, but I thought moving back to New York was gonna like solve it and I would be at peace, and it wasn't. And then there was this, I was actually watching someone's live or saw it on someone's IG, and I found an amazing person who became my life coach. And she changed my life, and she's very much an instrumental part of my life today. And so and then that's when I found Ra, who I started training with, and really, he's like, no, you can be an athlete. He's like, you can be strong, you can do this. And he's still one of the most consistent people I know, which is amazing. And then I looked, there's, about, actually, it was actually the beginning of this year. I'm like, I need to do something that like brings me down or helps me find balance or grounds me. Like, it's great to go hard with Ra, but I'm like, I need something to bring me down. I need something to balance. I need something to, continue to like embrace the softness of me, the feminine side. And again, another angel came into my life who I started doing virtual yoga with. But I mean, she sends you these playlists. I'm like, you sure we doing yoga here? Like, it's got like soul and rhythm, and it's a beautiful thing. And for me, having that amazing rotation of just when you can pour into yourself, and it's not just none of it is like aesthetics. It's all like inside, and making sure you're maintaining. And I would say that, coupled with just my family and my tribe around me, they are the biggest motivators in my life, and seeing them and seeing how they show up for me, and seeing their kids and wanting to make an impact. My right hand, Luna, I actually found a note that she wrote me earlier in the year. Actually, she wrote it on Women's History Day. And you just never know who's watching you, and you can change. Even if you change one person's life in your lifetime, you've done good, but you just never know who you can inspire in that next moment. So those are my motivators. I try to just, not waste time and show up for my tribe.
That was beautiful. All of it. I'm just like soaking it all in. But time is so precious. And I have found that I used to, because we're changing, do a really good job at wasting wasting my time and talents and things of that nature. And it doesn't serve anyone. Because I truly believe that we're not here. None of us are here on this earth to serve ourselves. And so thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable with us today. I want to give you an opportunity to, again, tell us more about your project. How can we support you? Drop the hashtags, the @, the dates, all of the things, and we'll put it in the show notes. But again, I'm so thankful that you took the time to do your first live with us.
Yes,
that you are sharing your journey with us. And I know, because I read your bio, everyone read the bio in the show notes. I know that you have had quite the career, and to step out in faith in this way is amazing. And so I know that your heart is in it for the right reason. And again, that's why I keep saying it's going to be major. But yes, give us please the deets. Let us know how we can support you and things of that nature.
Yes. So for all my strong, I got 13 strong IGers tonight. I'm sure all y'all are my family. I love it. I think the biggest thing right now is, everyone tell your networks, whether your networks are on social media, in your, job community, that go to masonblack.shop, sign up. So we have your information and in our database. So when we go live on the 20th, we have your information. If you're on IG, post it. We're about to drop our launch video tomorrow. It introduce all the designers. We're doing a runway presentation in Detroit. And there's 6 fabulous designers that are going to be part of it, and everyone will be introduced to those designers. Tomorrow you'll get to see them, and you know, it's so special. They're so, why, if you ask why Detroit, why Maison Black, why Detroit, why now? And the time just seemed right for all this. If you look at what we've all been through over the last 2 years in the Black community, and we're still going through it, but you know, there needs to be somewhere where we can shop us, support us. And also, you know, I want to give people curated experiences. You know, I don't want it to just be like, oh, you can get this or get this, you know, want to make sure I'm bringing newness to folks, helping the customers find cool new designers, and also designers that have been doing this for a long time, who like exemplify design excellence and creativity, and just haven't had the platform to sell or showcase their products. So really providing that. Detroit, so there are 6 designers that, you know, I have grown up through the ranks in New York, and they are joining me and celebrating the launch of the Maison Black site. So I should preface this, let everybody know, Maison Black is online only. You will see pop-up and launch activations as we continue to grow in certain cities, but it is an online business. And then we're doing a pop-up, anybody that's in Detroit, at Shinola, and we'll be there the 21st to the 23rd, and you'll get to meet the designers in person, do a little shopping, and shopping online with us at the store, and, you know, doing some pre-orders and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a good time. You know, Detroit's always a good time. Like, you know, it's Motown.
I've never been. I've got to get there.
All right, we got to get you there. We definitely
I've got to get there.
Before,
Question. So if I was a designer, and I wanted to be a part of the experience, or is like, how do I get tapped in if I'm not, if like, so I actually would be a shopper, right? I'd be going in for the curated experiences. But if I was someone who was a designer, like, how does that work? Do you handpick them? Is there a selection process? Is there an application process? What does that look like?
Great question. There's not an application process. It truly is more organic and handpicking. And because we're curating collections, we want exclusive pieces, or pieces that, you know, we can present first and foremost on the Maison Black platform, and they'll be themed out. So the unique thing that you'll get for this first drop will be curated pieces, but each designer will have a shop in shop on Maison Black. As we go forward, there'll be curated stories. So you may be mixed in with several different designers under a certain story or theme for that specific drop. But I would encourage all the, you know, anybody interested. You know, I have a huge database, but, you know, the fun part is the discovery too, and going and researching and learning about, you know, new designers and, you know, what they're doing, and following their growth, and, you know, getting referrals. So I encourage, you know, shoot me an email. You can email me through the site. Also follow Maison Black New York. New York is spelled out. That is our Instagram handle, Maison Black New York. And you can also, designers can reach out to me through the Instagram there. They can DM me, Tori Nichel, and we'll definitely connect. You know, we, again, want to continue to shine light on us, and you know, as we're building the platform, also making sure we're sharing the platform to spotlight, again, emerging and established designers, you know. And really, I should preface our the segment of the industry that we're really zeroed in on is what we would call advanced contemporary or accessible luxury. So you're going to see price points probably between $298 on the low end to about $998 in this first drop. There are going to be pieces that are around $1,400-1,500.
Love that. Love that. Out of my price point, but I'm gonna plug it.
Look,
the way my account is set up, Tori, you know, you're gonna have to come up with a. I'm gonna have to get the sale version. You know, the end of season sale. I'll be there, but I'm gonna support you and repost. In the meantime, that's not gonna be my testimony forever, but that's where we are today.
Yeah.
But yes, as someone just said, it's so exciting. A major congrats to you. And like I said, you're gonna. It's not about you, so it's going to be so major. So Tori, I am the amateur expert, and I claim to know a little bit about a lot. And so we are coming to the part of the interview where I ask you to please share with me a random fact, a Snapple fact, a tidbit of information, your favorite quote, anything that I can say that you taught me.
That I taught you. Well, I'm glad you clarified that, because my answer was going to be real left. Back, but we're bringing it back to center as we close. Oh boy. I would say, gosh, I feel like I'm on the spot, even though I know I knew this was coming. I mean, one of the quotes, you know, I know, you know, with your business and having affirmations, you know, there's one quote where some of my friends will totally tease me and make fun of me, some of my old coworkers, because I used to always say, live, laugh, love, which I truly believe that is true.
So
like,
important. Yeah.
You know, I was raised with just leading with love. One of the things that both my parents embodied was leading with love in everything you do, and loving unconditional. So I always try to approach life and all that I do with love. But I would say it's like a quote, and I feel like it's very one of my favorite quotes, and it's just resonates with where I am currently and in my life is when you walk with your purpose, you collide with destiny. And you know, I don't know if I feel like I don't know if I'm at that point, but I do know I feel that I'm walking in my purpose right now. So
that's good. I like that. But I also want to know what you were going to say originally, because
no.
Please, you have to share it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's like the silly, crazy part. So I thought you meant like tell you and the folks on here who are listening a fun fact about myself that you may not know, because you think like everything, you know, Instagram, you can think everyone's all sunshine and
okay, share it. Let's get to know more about the Tori Nichel.
Yes, which I will say, like, I don't know how to even use a filter, so you really are getting true Tori when I post stuff. But the fun fact I was going to share is that I was a mascot in high school. I was Sammy the Bruin.
No way.
Yes, I was.
Like for games and stuff?
Yeah, I was the.
See? That is great.
So when I first read your question, I was like, oh, okay, I got something in my back pocket I can pull out. No one ever thinks that, like, I was a mascot. Yeah, I was straight up Sammy the Bruin in high school.
I love that. And I'm glad that you shared that with us. That was perfect. That was
story.
Thank you for that. And so, as you alluded to earlier, I am in the process of building out Affirmed Armor. We celebrated our 1-year anniversary this weekend.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you. Still in the process of learning and growing and just learning even what it means to be a businesswoman and all the things. But I would love for you to share with us, please, your go-to affirmation. What is something that you recite to yourself and say to get you going?
Oh my goodness. You know, I mean, look, my prayer is like 49 minutes long every day now. I barely get to sleep because by the time I start my morning prayer, my good night prayer, the day is like collided. You know, for me to get up and do the work that I do, I need to have peace of mind that the Lord has covered my family, that everyone is covered and is safe, my family and my loved ones first and foremost. And that is how I honestly start my day. And it has nothing to do with my business or my work, but it is all about keeping us covered and keeping us healthy. We've been so blessed to, you know, everyone has remained healthy through this ongoing pandemic.
Absolutely.
And again, learning the hard way to how precious life is and how precious your health is.
Yeah.
I need to be at peace with that every morning before I start my day. And because I live away from my family and loved ones, it's that much more important because I don't see everybody. You know, I don't know if your grandmother or your mom's like my grandma, I just need to lay eyes on you. I just need to lay my eyes on you. I don't get to lay my eyes on everybody all the time.
Yep. No, that's so good. That's so good. And that's literally in my morning prayers. God, please cover my family, protect them from hurt, harm, and danger, and keep them on, allow them to keep you at their center, and allow them to just walk in your footsteps. I say that daily, daily, because I'm also now away from home, and my mom will call and say, you know, or she'll FaceTime or Duo me because I'm still trying to convert her to Apple, but she has not there yet. But she'll be like, haven't seen you a few days. I had to call you, you know, just to lay my eyes on you. So from one Nichelle to another, I completely understand.
I can know your middle name's Nichelle.
It is, but I'm Nachelle.
I love it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, thank you again for sharing with us. I am forever grateful to Valisha for bringing us together. I'm forever grateful for you for saying yes. And I am so excited to see your new baby grow. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley, and again, thank you, Valisha, for all the work you've done in bringing us together in the masterclass. This is just a testament of you know, Valisha's work, and I'm just, you know, I'm so blessed and honored that you'll be such a special part of my journey. And please know this, you doing this first ever podcast I've ever done and first ever live and wanting to share my story. I appreciate you so much. I thank you so much. And I'm excited to have you on this journey and grateful that you wanted to share the story about me and Maison Black. So thank you, Ashley.
It's truly my pleasure. Truly, truly, truly my pleasure. Well, everyone, thank you for joining. Again, follow Tori Nichel, follow Maison Black in New York, all spelled out, but all the details will be in the show notes. Just guys, be good to yourself and be good to others. Yep. And as Tori said, lead with love. Have a great Tuesday, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.